What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, with the Abyss of Dagath update, we got a new frame called Dagath, and her helmet ability is called Wyrd-Scythes. This thing launches out viral blades that will deal damage around you, and then you can launch them at enemy for some bigger, burst damage. And we're using that helmet ability on Hildryn today with a new build. Also be going over some changes to Hildryn with the Abyss of Dagath update as far as shield getting and shield tanking are concerned. So yeah, let's go over Wyrd-Scythes Hildryn. But before we get into it, make sure you sub to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. Also check out the live stream channel as well. I'll be live with tons of Plague Star when that comes out. Also opening some Hydra and relics. And just farming fissures in general. So yeah, come on, stop by. Alright, so let's go over what we're doing today. It's going to be Wyrd-Scythes Hildryn, as I stated. And yeah, this can actually kill Steel Path. You can do Steel Path no weapons with this build. So what we're going to be doing right here is we're going to be using Hildryn's third ability for radiation damage over time. We're going to use Hildryn's second ability for armor strip. And we're going to use Dagath's helmet ability for viral damage, followed by viral blade launch, basically. So we've got Steel Path Heavy Gunners level 195 right here. And after a single cast, a couple of them were almost dead. After 3 casts, a lot of them were already dead. And don't forget, too, this ability does strip enemy armor. Might not look too impressive right now, but remember, these are all heavy units. And as far as on the Steel Path, this can nuke down trash ads really quick. Since this is not going to be our primary DPS source, the Wyrd-Scythes themselves, we've actually gotten a Tomos equipped with gas electric, as we don't really need viral. The viral is coming from our helmet ability, and the enemies will have no armor, so when you combine it all together, you can just insta-kill a big group of enemies. So just going over how that works, they all get grouped up, we cast Wyrd-Scythes, and they're dead. They're dead. So the reason we're using the Atomos is because it has really good stats, and it also has base heat, so we do gas and electric. Now, as far as Hildryn getting changed with the Abyss of Dagath update, the biggest things that changed to her are how much tanking shields got added. There's extra tank stats on shields. There's 50% DR now. And also, they snuck in a shield recharge delay cap in the patch notes. I think it's 90% shield recharge delay that is capped at now, and certain things like Vazarin, Guardian Shell, I believe it's called, Guardian Break. This will reduce the shield recharge delay of your Warframe by 80% for 12 seconds when this ability is used, or rather when the Guardian Shell you create breaks. 80% is what you get from this. That is almost the cap. The cap is 90% apparently. So with that in mind, we are using things to make it where we can actually get our shields back on Hildryn no matter what. And by the way, the helmet slot can either be the 1 or the 4. I was just keeping the 4 to see if you could cast Wyrd-Scythes in the 4. And you cannot cast Wyrd-Scythes in the 4. So yeah, either the 1 or the 4. But the idea of the build today is to hopefully never die as Hildryn. So things we've got going on here. We've got fast deflection, reducing our shield recharge delay. Basically how long it takes before our shield starts recharging. Vazarin Focus School will be needed, basically, if you want to take this to high levels. As we're going to be using Vazarin Protective Dash to go invincible while our shields are down. And we'll be invincible for long enough that we'll be able to regen enough shield to cast Pillage pretty much no matter what. So that's a must-have part of the build, Vazarin Dash and Fast Deflection. But as far as the rest of the build, we got Corrosive Projection combining with our 82% armor removal from Pillage. We get 100% armor removal with 328% power strength. I showed the Archon Shard briefly at the beginning. Rolling Guard for just in case we don't go into Vazarin fast enough. You can technically take this off if you really are confident in your playstyle, but I'm going to keep it on here. Redirection to increase shields. She uses shields for energy, so it makes sense. Basically like a Prime Flow and a Vitality together for her. Prime Continuity to increase the duration of abilities. Doesn't really matter for Wyrd-Scythes, but still. It's good for the shield recharge rate on her 3. We've got Umbral Intensify, because I've got Umbra Form on her, I need some Power Strength. And we got Power Strength here, and we got Archon Stretch. Or rather, we got Normal Stretch. Archon Stretch would not work on her, as she does not have energy. Speaking of not having energy, Arcane Steadfast will make it where you don't have to drain any shields for your abilities, even though it says no energy on the first couple of casts, it's actually no shields on her. And Arcane Aegis, when this procs, you basically become invincible. So, showing how the invincibility of this works, we're going to jump in there with non-paused enemies. I'm going to show you how you can survive as Hildryn. Hopefully no matter what. Okay, so we jump in there. We're not going to cast Pillage yet. So as we're getting damage, okay, well, Arcane Aegis procs there. I'll wait until Arcane Aegis wears off. Once Arcane Aegis wears off, you want to use the first ability from Vazarin. Guardian Shell. Now that they've cast Guardian Shell, they're shooting at something right now. It's like that thing right there. Now we have a shield recharge delay. But remember, you cannot recharge your shields while you're actively being shot at. There we go, we're regenerating shields again, and now Aegis procced. So you want to have multiple sources of shields for this. I could actually take off Arcane Aegis to show you what I meant about Vazarin Dash. Okay, so once Aegis wears off, let's show how the invincibility aspect works. Okay, they keep damaging me, my shield's down. I dash through my frame. My shields are already regenerating. While my shields are regenerating, you cast Pillage. Now we have our full shield, we can cast our abilities, no problem. Then you just play the mission as normal. So as long as you can, see in time, like, okay, I have no Aegis procced. I might die here if my shield goes down. You have to basically be ready in that moment to cast an ability, or to go into Vazarin Dash, or to rather cast Guardian Shell. Guardian Shell can work, it just doesn't feel like it's the most reliable, at least to me. Keep in mind, too, your third ability is constantly draining shields. Okay, so going over the weapon, we have the Atomos. There is no Atomos Wraith, by the way, it's just the Atomos. You can rename weapons in this game. Now, as far as the build we've got here, I wanted to mess with some stuff and try some new things out here. So we got Conjunction Voltage, making it where on electric status effect we get increased reload speed and multi-shot. The Atomos reloads quite often, so I actually kind of wanted to try this, and it's only going to work when you have electric status procs from your, just on the enemies. So we've got Jolt, we've got a Heat mod, and a Toxin mod to make it gas and electric. These procs are good for grouped up enemies. We're using the Nautilus Sentinel to group up enemies, and we got Viral from our Wyrd-Scythes, so we don't need a mod for Viral on here. Now, you totally could mod for Viral on here, but just keep in mind, you're actually losing the synergy of Wyrd-Scythes providing Viral procs. And we're also using Manifold Bonds, so we want to have free procs in the enemies. But yeah, you could go for like a full Heat build or something on here. It's really going to be up to you, but this works great. This will also be your Acolyte. Well, actually, it won't be your Acolyte Slang Weapon. Our Acolyte Slang Weapon will be this. I put a proper build in the Praetos, finally. We've got a Corrosive Anti-Acolyte build here. The Riven is critical damage, heavy attack efficiency, so I can do back-to-back heavy attacks over and over with 90% efficiency with Focus Energy. But yeah, Corrosive, heavy attack, no Weeping Wounds needed, and no attack speed needed because we're only going to use this a couple times on the Acolyte, if that. Now, as far as the Nautilus build, it's going to be the exact same one for my Hydroid level 10,000. We've got Guardian, Shield Charger, Cordon, and that's pretty much all the abilities. It gets Prime Regen and Vacuum as well. So things here, Guardian can fully restore your shields. Shield Charger can give you more maximum shields, which is actually pretty funny on Hildryn. You got Vacuum for picking up loot, Cordon for grouping up enemies. And as far as the bond mods, you got Reinforced Bond. You'll definitely have this active on Hildryn as you're going to give your companion some more shields too with her 3. Tenacious Bond to give increased crit damage on our frame. Make sure you got a high crit weapon like the Volklock or the Volkix to do this. Calculated Redirection, definitely not super necessary here as we're playing Hildryn, but it's the mod I usually use on Nautilus, so increased shield capacity. Manifold Bond, this is the reason I have a Gas Electric Atomos. Companion preset mods apply status procs from companion weapons. Killing enemies with 3 or more unique status effects reduces the companion's ability timer by 3 seconds. Good for Cordon and good for Guardian. I don't even know if it works on Shield Charger, but yeah, it's good for Guardian and Cordon, so that's nice. And for Momentous Bond, just in case this thing dies, you kill an Eximus, which is not too hard with our Atomos, and yeah, it's back to life, basically. So very nice there. Let's get into some gameplay, and we can talk about Hildryn in general. I actually made some new fashion frame after this footage, by the way. So yeah, I did a solo, 30-minute Steel Path survival, felt pretty good. I did a bunch of other testing on, Conjunction survival and stuff like that. So would I say this was going to replace, Elemental Ward Hildryn, Roar Hildryn, whatever else people are running nowadays? Honestly, maybe. I'm showing you all Steel Path gameplay here. On the normal path, if you're doing a Lich Hunt, you don't need any weapons. Just activate her 3 and walk through. Just keep pushing the 1 button. If you got Arcane Steadfast, you can spam those Wyrd-Scythes. But yeah, they actually do surprisingly good damage on the Steel Path, especially when the armor of the enemy is removed. So right there, it's not very good on the Eximus. You have to use your pistol on that. And of course, I chose to use the Atomos here because it just looks really cool. Honestly, it looks like a Mega Blaster on Hildryn's arm, kind of reminded me of like a Mega Man. And her Exalted Pistol is okay, but I actually don't have the Exalted Pistol active right now. So, yeah, I would recommend this one for sure. It's the first one I've tried for Dagath's Helminth, the Wyrd-Scythes, and she can constantly spam it. She's got full armor removal. She's got damage over time from her 3. I thought it was a pretty appropriate use of this. And if you are fighting an Acolyte, you're not using your Praetos to kill it, make sure you armor strip the Acolyte with Pillage, and then hit him with the Incarnon shot on the Atomos, your Gas Electric. It will be able to kill them. It won't be as fast as, a heavy attack, though, so. more just like a good build that you can use in everyday gameplay. Not exactly speedrunning, not exactly, the fastest kill ever. It does good things. It gives you viral procs, it gives you burst damage. It can technically solo the steel path with just abilities, so I like that too. And yeah, as far as will I use this going forward? Next time I play Hildryn, yeah, I probably will use this one going forward. Elemental Ward is nice, as is Roar, but yeah, I like this. This one feels pretty unique, actually, so be it to mod your weapons around it, too. Like, I'm not putting viral on my weapons because I'm getting viral from my Wyrd-Scythes. But also, like, as far as Hildryn being better or worse compared to before, I think she actually is better with the whole, like, you have enough time with the shield recharge mods to recharge your shield enough to cast Pillage. You're still going to run into the problem where if there's no enemies around you with armor and your shield broke again, you're still screwed. Because yeah, if you can't drain armor or shields from enemies, you don't get your big shields back with Pillage. So that's unfortunate, but hey, she has to have some kind of weakness. I don't think I'm going to be running her very much for level 10,000s. I think I've done it once or twice ever. But that was in Circuit, so it wasn't really extremely, good example of how good her setup was. So, hope you guys found this build fun and helpful either way. I'd recommend trying it out. And yeah, Korra video is on the way as well. I've already got it all set up. I just decided, I'm like, do I want to do the Hildryn video or the Korra video first? And I thought this build was pretty fun and good, so I want to get this one out first. As the Korra video is more of a build refresh and just showing how to get the most charm procs ever. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate the support. Might be live tonight. If not, I'll see you tomorrow for sure. And yeah, guys, appreciate the support. Take it easy. Peace.